The draconian throne world of Pyraxis had stood for 10,000 cycles, its crystalline spires reaching toward twin suns that bathed the planet in perpetual twilight. King Vorthax and Queen Seraphima ruled with wisdom earned through millennia, their scales shimmering with the deep crimson of ancient royalty. Yet for all their power, all their glory, one thing eluded them. An heir. The Draconians were a dying race. Their eggs had grown cold and lifeless for generations, victims of a genetic curse no science could unravel. The royal couple had long since accepted their fate, knowing their line would end with them. Until the Wanderers came, the alien vessel materialized without warning in Pyraxis's orbital space. A ship of impossible geometries that seemed to exist in more dimensions than the eye could perceive. The Wanderers were beings of pure energy, ancient beyond measure, who traversed galaxies collecting stories and specimens of dying civilizations. But this time, they brought something different. "We have observed your noble reign," their spokesman communicated through waves of light and sound. "We offer you a gift, not of your blood, but of a species we find remarkable." They call themselves humans. In a chamber of soft light, they presented a sleeping infant. Tiny, fragile, with skin the color of warm sand and hair like spun copper. The baby boy stirred, opening eyes the impossible blue of Earth's forgotten oceans. "This is Forest," the Wanderers explained. "His world was consumed by their son's death. We saved what specimens we could. This child has no family, no home, but he carries within him something extraordinary, the resilience of humanity." Queen Seraphima approached the floating cradle, her massive form dwarfing the tiny creature. One clawed finger, each talon the size of the baby's arm, extended with impossible gentleness to touch his cheek. Forrest giggled, his small hand reaching up to grasp her scaled-fingered eye. In that moment, something ancient and primal awakened in the queen's heart. "We will raise him," King Vorthax declared, his voice resonating through the chamber. "He shall be our son, our prince, our heir." The Wanderers departed, leaving behind detailed records of human physiology and child-rearing practices. The entire draconian court was in uproar. A human? An alien creature with a lifespan barely a tenth of their own? Ruling Pyraxis? But the king and queen would hear no dissent. Forest grew in the palace of scales and fire, a tiny pink figure among giants. The queen commissioned the finest artisans to craft him quarters, rooms scaled to human proportions within the vast draconian architecture, with temperature controls adjusted to his delicate biology. The king's elite guard swore oaths to protect the human prince, each warrior towering 15 feet tall, with scales harder than diamond. The boy learned to walk in corridors where a single one of his steps equaled 10 draconian strides. He learned to speak both English, from the Wanderer's databases, and Draconic, his small throat somehow managing the deep rumbles and hisses. He attended royal councils, sitting on a specially crafted throne, watching with bright, curious eyes as his parents governed star systems. What amazed the Draconians most was not Forrest's fragility, but his fearlessness. When he was 5 cycles old, an assassination attempt targeted the royal family. Energy weapons blazed through the throne room. Queen Seraphima moved to shield Forrest, but the boy, tiny, vulnerable, stepped forward instead. His voice, barely audible in the chaos, rang out clear. "Stop! You hurt my mother." The assassin, a draconian lord seeking to restore purity to the throne, froze. This human child, who should have been cowering, stood between him and the queen. The lord's weapon wavered. King Vorthax used that moment of hesitation to strike. The assassin fell. Later, as healers tended minor wounds, Vorthax lifted his adopted son carefully. "You could have been killed, Forrest. Why did you not run?" "Because she's my mom," Forrest said simply. "And you're my dad. That's what family does." The story spread across Pyraxis like wildfire. The human prince who faced death for his draconian parents. Something shifted in the hearts of the people. As Forrest grew into adolescence, he proved himself in unexpected ways. His human hands, so much smaller and more dexterous than draconian claws, could perform delicate repairs on technology they thought broken. His human mind approached problems from angles the Draconians, with 10,000 cycles of tradition, never considered. His short lifespan made him cherish each moment intensely. teaching his immortal parents the value of time. But more than anything, it was his capacity for love that transformed the kingdom. That on Forrest's 16th cycle celebration, Queen Seraphima addressed the assembled court, her son standing proudly beside the twin thrones. He barely reached her knee, but none present doubted his place. "When the Wanderers brought us this child," she said, "they called humanity remarkable. I understand now what they meant. Humans live such brief lives, yet they love with an intensity we immortals have forgotten. They are fragile, yet possess courage that shames our armored hides. Forrest is human, yes, but he is also draconian. He is our son, our prince, and he has taught us that family is not about blood or species. It is about choice, about love." She turned to Forrest, lowering her great head. "You have made us better rulers, better beings. You have given us not just an heir, but hope. The hope that perhaps our people need not die out. They need only learn to love as humans do, fiercely and without reservation." Forrest reached up, placing his small hand on his mother's snout. "I may be human," he said, his voice carrying through the silent chamber, "but I am draconian by choice, by love, by everything that matters. And I will serve Pyraxis until my last breath, however brief that may be." The court erupted not in protest, but in thunderous approval. The human prince had won not just tolerance, but genuine devotion. And in the royal chambers that night, King Vorthax and Queen Seraphima held their sleeping son, this impossibly fragile, impossibly strong human child, and understood what the Wanderers had truly given them. Not just an heir, but a future.